Hi, welcome to Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons, and this is another episode of the St. Louis Geo Spotlight. And back with us for this segment is Courtney Miller. Courtney,
Hi.
how about you? What's going on this month?
Yeah. Well, thanks again for having me on tonight, Adam, to talk. It's later here in St. Louis and getting ready for the big time change here. And want to give everybody an update on what's going on in St. Louis right now. So we had a good month in geospatial news. One, of course, is we're getting geared up for GEOINT 2021, and which will be in St. Louis October 5th through the 8th. We've learned that it will be both an in-person and virtual event, but of course, we're hoping that people will be excited to travel and get ready to come out to St. Louis, to the America Center, and check out all the great exhibits, get to spend some time in St. Louis and really see what is making St. Louis what Admiral Sharp calls the world's greatest geospatial ecosystem. So a lot of folks putting a lot of effort and time into really making this a special event, and we're excited to reveal details as they come up over the next few months. So we'll get started talking a little bit about Leidos. So Leidos, of course, is a huge geospatial company throughout the world with 38,000 employees, but they also have an office here in St. Louis, and they're wonderfully active in the community and very much dedicated to working in local schools, educating the next generation of talent in geospatial and GIS and geospatial intelligence. And they announced this month that they have partnered with an organization called Gateway Global, and they are putting together a cohort of, essentially, they call it the Entry to Executive Program, which is for local area high school students who can be trained in GIS and GEOINT, geospatial intelligence training, and then they get placed into internships and apprenticeships. And they're really targeting those who are in disinvested neighborhoods, in city school districts, African American and students of color, to really kind of help diversify and invest in the talent that's here in St. Louis and get them excited about geospatial. So I spent some time this month talking with Nicole Mathern, who is the community programs director for Leidos here in St. Louis. And she had a lot of really great information about what Leidos does currently in the community. They not only work with Gateway Global and trying to work on this internship program, but they're also active in upcoming in 3 elementary schools. So they really start from the ground up. So they've invested in smart boards, in geospatial technology, home kits, information that they send home with parents. They really get kids excited about geospatial starting in kindergarten and working all the way up through 6th grade. And they're gradually kind of building in and all the way up through high school pipeline of kids who are going to know what geospatial is. They understand geospatial intelligence. They're familiarized with maps, but not only them, but also their parents. And I find this to be a really interesting, it's a very unique way in order to get not only from a private company to be really this invested in what's going on in the local schools, but they're invested in the parents. And so every time they send something home with kids, they also send information home for the parents to say, if you're interested in learning more about geospatial and GIS and you would like to be trained, you'd like to know more, kind of similar to some of the coding camps that you see throughout the country. Here in St. Louis, we have several as well that are kind of geared towards the adults who are already in the workforce, but may want to look into coding as like a second career. This is kind of the same thing for geospatial. And I think it's really unusual and interesting, and really want to follow this one from Leidos. I think that they've got a wonderful model for developing young and diverse talent and getting everyone, like I said, kindergarten all the way through high school and into the parents involved in this. And I think that's really what's going to make St. Louis a unique place in terms of geospatial, because we're going to have cohorts of kids who are going to be completely aware of geospatial and understand what that means. Kids from all across the region. And I think that's going to be huge coming in the future. So really excited to kind of watch Leidos and what they're doing there.
Absolutely. Are there any other companies expressed interest in participating?
So far, they've not announced that, but I do know that Nicole said there are other partners that they are working with in order to place these kids who are part of the Gateway Global program in internships and apprenticeships in other companies. So I imagine that we'll start hearing some announcements in the coming months about other companies that are participating. It's a very collaborative type of program as far as I've heard. And we're excited to see more companies get involved.
Great. What else is on the agenda this month? You got a lot accomplished, right?
Yeah. I think the next big thing is that coming up in a few weeks will be the launch of Nga Accelerator. So back in November, December, Nga announced that it was going to be investing in a startup accelerator. It's the first one for a U.S. defense agency. And they were going to choose 8 startups that would be given a non-diminished $100,000 from that is a partnership with the St. Louis Investment Fund Capital Innovators and the state of Missouri. And I think they received hundreds of applications. I don't want to give away exactly the exact number, but it was hundreds of applications for these 8 slots. And that cohort is starting in March 22nd. So I think we should be seeing announcements for who was selected to move forward with these. But this is part of the larger kind of larger Nga strategy. They call it Moonshot Strategy, that is really trying to pull in innovation from the education and entrepreneurial space into the agency itself and really create collaboration, and which I'll talk about in a second, but really trying to up their innovation game. And so I would expect that this program will probably be expanded, and I expect some really great things to come out of this first cohort. So really excited to watch that.
No, that is great. A lot of stuff coming around the turbo. So do we know any more about the progression of GEOINT itself?
Not well. I would expect that we'll start seeing registration in the next couple of months. And information about being able to participate as a company, I think, will come in the next couple months too. We have not yet learned about when registration, either for participants or for exhibitors, will begin. But we do know that it should be coming up soon, and that we expect that while obviously there's going to be a lot of folks, we're not sure if we'll see the exact same amount of people that we would to a typical GEOINT when you're not coming on the heels of a pandemic. We are still going to be planning for a full court press in terms of people there and making it as safe and interactive and really giving people a chance to get out there and network and have some fun.
Is that all we have for this update?
One more thing,
Okay.
Just kind of like a basic, just a fun little piece in Space News this week. They talked a little bit about, basically NGA said, we really have to start pushing for innovation, and that brought to task the fact that China and other countries are really making a push for geospatial. They've got very aggressive satellite and orbit type of quotas that they're looking at. They're being pretty aggressive, and so NGA understands this, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of investment around innovation, entrepreneurship, and education partners that are happening in St. Louis, but also in Virginia at NGA East. So we know that the NGA West campus here in St. Louis is going to be very much a high-tech, modern campus that has approximately 40% of its space is at least somewhat declassified in order to allow greater interaction between non-governmental contractors, educators, private companies, to really up that so it makes it an easier, seamless way for companies to interact with the mission. So we're really excited about that. We think that when it comes down to making the U.S. more competitive and more mission-driven and enable us to really take it to the next step in the 21st century, that's the kind of thing we need to see. And so we're excited to support that here in St. Louis.
Okay. No, great. So this is another update of St. Louis Geo Spotlight. I appreciate you coming on again.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see what progression happens in the next 30 days. And
yep.
We're 6 months away from GEOINT now?
Yeah, I think we're about 6 months. Yeah. So I would say that in the coming months, we will expect that Moonshot Labs and Geosaurus, which is St. Louis's sort of tech startup accelerator, Moonshot Labs, is run by NGA. That is currently under construction and is slated to open this year. So I would expect we'll see some updates on what's going on with Moonshot Labs. We will see the first cohort of the Nga Accelerator. And we will likely get news on what's going on with GEOINT. So should be pretty fun in the next coming months.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for this segment Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And tune in next month. We're going to keep these going on the 18th of every month. And can't wait to see what's coming up ahead. Thanks, Courtney.
Right. Thanks, Adam.
Talk to everybody next time.